Puluvinaka, you're watching Fiji Village Play. I'm your host, Alipate Narawa. On the show this week, we've got a lot for you from primary and secondary school swimming championship, and they're in Bordeaux, France this week. But the big news that broke earlier this week, the naming of the 32-member Fiji Water Flying Fijian squad that'll be heading over to Europe for the Nations Championship. They'll be playing Wales, Scotland, and England. Acting head coach Senirusi Servakula named his squad earlier this week on Monday. And when I asked him, what does it take to make the team? And is it performance-based? And what happens if the team is not performing, or the players when they meet up? Because they have a short window. They have a 4-day preparation period before they take on Wales in Cardiff. This is what he had to say about the players.
You also spoke about testing them over the 4 days before.
Yeah, everyone has to go through a physical test. And that's been the message to them for the last couple of months. Some of them, they think after their seasons, they think coming into the Flying Fijian is to have a good time and meet with people. And no, that's different now. You come in and you be ready for the day one.
So your message to them is shape up or ship up?
That's the message.
Message to the people that have been waiting for this announcement for a while. A lot of gang been making their fantasy teams on who you're going to pick. Just a message to the people of Fiji.
Yeah, the message is, the Flying Fijian team. This is not Fiji Rugby's team. This is the people's team. This is our chiefs team. This is the team of the people of Fiji. Yeah? We need their prayers and their support, and we will go out there and do our best for our country and for our people.
That was acting head coach for the Fiji Water Flying Fijians, Senirusi Servakula, pretty much telling the players that they better ship up or shape out. If they do not perform, they are on the first flight back to Fiji. A pretty strict stance, but I think this is what we need heading into the Nations Championship, as we'll be playing against all Tier 1 teams. This is the first 3 games in this tour, and then later on in November, we'll be coming back as well. But the funny thing is, these games were supposed to have been Fiji was supposed to be hosting these games here on the island, but some regulations that, first of all, Fiji needs to hold these games in a 25,000 seating stadium, which we currently do not have. Until that happens, then we are able to host these Nations Championship games in Fiji. But hopefully we'll get some funds out of this, since it's our home games, so most of the ticket sales will be coming to the Fiji Rugby Union. Hopefully this will be then utilized to later invest more into the rugby back in the homeland, or also into grassroots, or even better, that stadium that they're saying that's going to be popping up very soon as you head into Lautoka, which will also have a Fiji Rugby Museum. Coming up after this, we'll be talking about sevens. Welcome back to Fiji Village Play. I'm your host, Alipate Narawa, and as I said, we'll be talking about sevens, and this being the third leg of the World Championship Series, and this one is in Bordeaux in France. Now, for those of you still wondering, hey, what's the difference between the World Championship Series and the HSBC 7 Series? So here's the thing. The World Championship Series, over a series of 3 tournaments, they'll determine who goes on to play in next season's HSBC 7 Series. So at the moment, if you place 1 to 8, you make it through and you'll be the core teams playing. Now, if you will finish lower than 8th, you will drop into the second tier of the sevens competition, because at the moment, there's 12 teams participating in the World Championship Series. And speaking about that, the Fiji Airways Men's National Sevens team are currently 4th. Right? Coming out of the Valladolid Sevens in Spain, they're currently 4th, and they begin their Bordeaux Sevens campaign against Kenya. That's at 12:44 a.m. this Saturday morning. So if you're thinking, maybe you're going to watch the Super Rugby and then, have a mix and then go straight into the sevens, don't. Take a break in between, because you will not last the night, because there's only one Super Rugby game on Friday night. So I suggest, if you're going to have a mix, take a nap, and then maybe have a mix at around 12, because if not, you will not be able to stay up for this one. So, as I said, they will then take on Great Britain at 6:14 a.m. Sunday morning. All right, Sunday morning before South Africa at, 6:14 a.m. Saturday morning before South Africa at 9:06 p.m. Saturday night. Now, if you're wondering, the Cup quarterfinals are scheduled for early Sunday morning with the semi-finals on Sunday night and the final at 3:14 a.m. on Monday morning. So pretty good. Our chances going into this, not that bad. Right, the Fijian, however, they've got they opened their campaign against Japan at 10:44 p.m. or against Japan at 10:44 p.m. on Friday. Then they will play their next game against Australia at 3:15 a.m. on Saturday, and then Brazil at 11:32 p.m. on Saturday night. The Women's Cup quarters begins on Sunday morning with the semi-finals on Sunday night and the finals on Monday morning. Over the long weekend, we had the National Swimming Championships. This was for the primary school and the secondary school that was held at the National Aquatic Center. An athlete that stood out was Leila Maharaj, who says that she wants to follow in the steps of her father and become a pilot. Her father, who's a pilot, as I said, took special leave just to come and watch his daughters swim at the swimming championship. Also there to cheer them on is their grandmother, who flew in all the way from San Francisco in the U.S. just to be a part of the special weekend. And it was a special weekend indeed, as Leila was able to scoop 4 gold medals. And here's the thing, though. She said that she wants to become a pilot like her father. And here's the thing. What a lot of people do not realize is that our teams, or should I say our swimmers in the West, they're not blessed with the facilities that we have here in Suva. They do not have a 50-meter pool. They've got a 30-meter, or should I say 33-meter pool in the West, and they make do with that. But yet, when it comes down to the swimming championship, the Western teams were the ones that dominated, and they took out first in the boys and in the girls division, which is saying a lot. So shout out to the parents and the supporters and also the swimmers from the West who made the long trip over to Suva, and having to work with very limited facilities, were able to make a clean sweep at the National Swimming Championships. Coming up after this, we'll be taking a look at the Nrua and how they have progressed so far, and which players have just announced that they're leaving after their special party on Tuesday. Welcome back to Fiji Village Play. I'm your host, Alipate Narawa. And as I said, got some stuff about the Nrua. Okay, so coming into this season, at the beginning of the season, we knew that 3 players will be leaving the Swire Shipping Fiji Nrua side for greener pastures overseas. We knew that Ponipate Longonimasi was leaving. We also knew that Chochi Nasova, our 7th convert into 15s, was also leaving, and also Elia Dhanakaivata. Well, we had their awards night on Tuesday, and now it's just been confirmed that Inia Tambuavo, our midfielder Inia Tambuavo, is also leaving for greener pastures. Etonia Wanga, who has been big find in should I say, in the flankers, as he scored a lot of tries running down the wing where no one expected him to be, and just scoring tries like crazy throughout this season. Also leaving as well is Smoking Joseph Tamani. He's also leaving the side for this season, and he'll be playing in Europe. We've also got one that I hope would have stayed because he's been a mainstay from season 1, and that is Towering Lock Isona Silasila. Unfortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to Ice and also Ilaisa Nrosese, our fullback and our halfback that we didn't know that was leaving as well, is going to France. I'm talking about none other than Simeone Kuruboli. So these guys are leaving. One of our assistant coaches, Tim Sampson, and also the head coach of the Swire Shipping Fiji Nrua, Glenn Jackson, is also leaving the side. Now, Glenn Jackson has also been there like Isona Silasila from day one. They've been there for the last 5 years, and they are moving on. Now, one thing that everyone's asking is, who is coming in to replace Glenn Jackson? A lot of names are being tossed in the air. There were also some gang that were saying, you know what? Bring in Razor. The applications have been out by the Nrua for the last 2 months. While I would love to see Scott Razor Robertson coach the Swire Shipping Fiji Nrua, I'm not sure we kind of have the budget. But hey, if you think you know who they might bring in to be the head coach for the next 3 years, let me know. Drop a comment and let me know who you think will be the coach. But one thing I can tell you for sure, whoever is coming in has got a lot of big boots to fill. As the Ndrua, this has got to be their best season yet, with them winning twice against the Brumbies. They also beat the Highlanders this season. And when I say twice against the Brumbies, I'm talking about they beat them in Australia. Yes, the Ndrua did that this season. So definitely looking forward to more great games from the Ndrua next season. Until that time, man, I'm just hoping that, can we get Reza? I'm like fingers crossed on that. But whoever it is coming in, all the best to you, my friend. But yeah, you've got big shoes to fill, as the Swai Shipping Fiji Ndrua will be hoping to do better than they did this year, where they're finishing second at the bottom at the 10th position. Coming up next year, at the moment, we're not sure if we're going to have 11 teams, because the Moana Pacifica, they said that they will not be continuing. They do not have the funds. But there's a lot of backroom talk at the moment about some overseas companies or some former players coming in to try and save Moana Pacifica. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that over the next couple of weeks as we head into the qualifying finals this weekend, which I tell you, a lot of people are looking forward to. So coming up, the qualifying finals this weekend, we've got the Hurricanes taking on the Brumbies, and that's at 7:05 p.m. Tomorrow. 7:05 p.m. tomorrow, the Hurricanes taking on the Brumbies. One game that I'm looking forward to, that I'm sure a lot of young as well, is the Crusaders and the Blues. Now, the reason I'm saying I'm looking forward to this, the Crusaders do not have the services of fullback, winger, Will Jordan. News was just broken recently that the Blues will not have the services of fly half Bowden Barrett. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting game to see and how this will go. So that game is at 4:35 p.m. on Saturday. And the big match that everyone's looking forward to is the Chiefs and the Reds. That is at 7:05 p.m. on Saturday. So a lot of rugby this weekend, whether it's the Bordeaux Sevens, when if you want to be cheering on our Fiji Airways National Men's Seven side, or Fiji Airways Fijiana Sevens in France. And then you've also got the qualifying finals for the Super Rugby, for the Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific, where it's the qualifying finals where the top 6 play to find out who goes through to the semi-finals next weekend. Until next time, have a great one.